White Paper, where we erase the mystery behind public relations and paint the value of what it can do for your business, brand, career, community, and everyday life. Join us as we have some real talk discussions about hottest trends in news, media, and culture, as well as help small businesses and entrepreneurs with strategies and tips. Welcome to Dear White Paper. I am Lenitra, your host and owner of Indicator LLC, Indicator PR, and I have my lovely co-host here with me. To my left, I have Victoria Ray Moore.
Hello, I am Victoria Ray, owner of Victoria Ray Public Relations. I'm passionate about brands related to beauty, art, culture, and hospitality, and you can follow me on Instagram at Charleston PR Girl.
And then we have Renia Jameson.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. This is Renia Jameson, and I hail from Columbia, South Carolina. I run Purpose Promotions. You can find my website at purposepromotions.net or on Instagram at Renia KJ. Have a great time, having a lot of fun, doing a lot of things in Columbia. So just keep up with me if you can.
And then we have our lovely guest co-host, Tamara King.
I'm Tamara King. I'm the Community Relations Director at Richland Library, one of the top 5 libraries in the country, and I do specialize in media training and crisis communication training and communication strategies as well.
Well, thank you ladies so much for joining me today. We are going to get started on our first segment, Hot Off the Press. Ladies, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So our first story that we have, Victoria.
Sure, I'm really excited about this one. You may have heard LeBron James has just opened a school in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. And the school, it's the I Promise School, and it's an extension of his family foundation, the I Promise Network. And there are a couple of really unique points of this school. The one standing out to me the most is that with this kind of holistic view on education and caring for the families in addition to the children. I think it's great that they're forward thinking in their mode of educating and they're leaving it as a public school. So the results that come out of this school will contribute to the overall numbers of the school district in that town of Akron, Ohio.
Awesome.
Yes. So I guess from a PR perspective, what's interesting, I'd say when it comes to community issues and causes that are near and dear to you, do we think it's important to attribute a significant amount of time or financial resources that don't directly have a financial benefit into our pockets? Is it important that we spend time doing that type of work at all levels of success?
I am going to say yes.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what that means for someone who maybe is at a different stage or a different level in their career and how they can apply that little bit of advice to whatever their businesses may be.
Well, I think it's really, when you talk about the benefit for LeBron James, yes, it may not be a financial benefit in like seeing bottom line to his dollars because schools aren't known for making money, right? That's why it's public education. But I think when you think of things in a more holistic way and brand, it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
And so when you start moving away from dollars and start thinking about like, how can I put myself in the right spaces and places so that people see me, see my heart, see my passion, and then that kind of trickles down into more money.
Yes.
But I think LeBron is at this place. Let's be honest, he doesn't really need a whole lot more money. No one was going to turn down cash, right? No one's turning down cash, but he's definitely not in a place where he needs money. So he's now in this place, I call it legacy building. When you've kind of done your part in your career, and now it's that next step. Like, what do I look like in 10 years from now? So I think this is a part of his legacy building. Oprah did it. Other people have done it. Even Brian Stevenson has done it when you think of Just Mercy and the book. And now he's been a lawyer and been all over the country. And now he's thinking about what is the legacy part. So yes, I think you follow your passion. And then when you get to a point in your career when it's really important to start legacy building.
And I agree, outside of the basketball game and endorsement deals, it is very important to ensure that your brand is a strong brand. And it's amazing how it attracts more money and more opportunities. So again, we I would love to have one of his bank accounts, but the reality is, and from our point of view, seems like how much more money can you get? But I promise you, people are going to see what he's doing. They're seeing and people are just in awe. So people who weren't even LeBron fans, they have the utmost respect that you would do something like that. And like you said, the innovation with that program, the fact that they allowed it to be public, so everyone has access to it. They're focusing on those third graders and fourth graders who are key in terms of at-risk populations. And then the things that they're doing with extending the class days and making sure that all of the teachers have every resource that they need to assist the families and the kids is just brilliant.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that he calls it I Promise. I think that's really simple and to the point and to the heart of it all. And I mean, when you think about research, and research shows that consumers connect with brands who are behind some type of cause and they're more willing to do business with them. So I think that's a great thing to do for your brand. Also, he's building relationships in the community, which is very important. His public perception is being shaped by that. People who don't know LeBron James, just like you said, or maybe they don't know that side of LeBron James, they now have this positive outlook on him. So I think that was a great job for LeBron James.
And another way that we can bring this in to the small business owners is that when you're in your community, it's not just about what's going to be the best look, though we can say aligning yourself with the right organizations is important. I think what resonates is doing something that means something to you and making that a priority. I think that's what makes it resonate. This is special because he went to his hometown. That was an important place for him. And he's providing the resources to attract, not only to attract students and the families to want to be part of the public school, but to attract and retain quality educators.
Definitely.
So I think the key takeaway from this is figure out what means something to you and stick with it. Make that part of your why you do what you do. Whether you're selling pillows, selling milkshakes, selling services, make sure that also part of what people know is what is important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. All right. So, Renia, what's our next topic?
Well, it actually is a great segue. So, not too long ago, there was a family, and the mother was going into labor. So daddy packed up the kids and they arranged to meet at the Chick-fil-A. And as they were pulling into Chick-fil-A to drop them off with a family friend, mom, big pregnant mom on the way to the hospital and later says, I've got to get to the restroom. So dad goes and bangs on the door. The Chick-fil-A store owner opens up. Mom runs to the bathroom. Dad loads the kids in the other car. And when he gets into the bathroom with mom, the baby is crowning.
Can you imagine?
Needless to say, baby is born, and fast forward, Chick-fil-A decides to allow this young new birth at the age of 16 to automatically have a job with Chick-fil-A and have free Chick-fil-A for life. So in terms of the PR perspective there, again, I think a great extension from what we were just talking about, and building your brand, ensuring that your brand is doing good in the community, but utilizing unexpected opportunities. Yes. Is it a good idea to take advantage of those unexpected opportunities to really seize the day and promote your brand? And so, very simple question, ladies. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's really important, like you said, to take advantage of those special moments and make your clients and your customers feel special, even when it comes to their birthdays and certain milestones in their lives, to really celebrate those things. It makes them feel special. And then that creates loyalty and word of mouth. I know, when I got my braces taken off and I went to the orthodontist the day I was getting them taken off, they had these balloons up that had my name on it. They had a bottle of like candy and treats that I couldn't eat when I had my braces on. And then all the the employees got together, and it was just like, it made me feel so special. And what did I do when I got in my car? I went on Snapchat, I showed everyone, and that created that exposure for them as well, just because they made me feel special. So I think it's really important to take advantage of those small moments.
Well, and it also goes into going above and beyond.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's about paying enough attention that you're able to respond and react in real time and show that it's more than just a transactional moment.
Yes.
So whether you're a patient at an orthodontist where you were building a relationship over a period of time,
right?
Or again, I reference food a lot, maybe. But just meaning however long or short of time you have to interact with your clientele, your customer, to pay real attention to them and figure out how to let them know that you're paying attention. And it makes them feel like more than a customer.
Yes.
Definitely.
One of the guiding principles for our library is that we are committed to our best. We have 5 brand promises that we really stress, and one of them is that we're fresh and fun, and we are committed to our best in committing to offering the best. And I think that resonates in the community because people will remember what you do to some degree.
Yes.
But there's a quote about people will always remember how you made them feel.
Right.
So how do they make you feel when you left the dentist office? You felt accomplished. Now you can, embark on this new chapter of your life, and they helped you get there. So that's what's important, is how you make people feel. And that's for any business, whether you're a library, which some people don't think of as a business because we're a public entity, or if you're selling, like you said, throw pillows, or you have a restaurant. How do people feel when they leave? One of the things we love about Chick-fil-A is they make you feel so good, right?
That's right. That's right.
In Publix.
And
Publix makes you feel really good. Like you've accomplished your shopping goal.
That's right. And they'll make sure you get to where you need to get to.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that that when I initially heard about the story, I thought that the store was open. So when I dug deeper and realized that he actually banged on the door and they opened the door, oftentimes we talk about how people are so stuck on their policies that they're not willing to take advantage to make those adjustments to assist and support their customers, right? But again, this was just another great extension of that wonderful brand that we have all come to know, love, and appreciate. Chick-fil-A obviously has entrenched in their local managers that, it's okay to open the door once you've already closed it if somebody's standing there big and pregnant and, needs to use the bathroom.
Absolutely.
And so I think that there are so many great takeaways we can take from that story, not just feel good, but again, as entrepreneurs, small business owners, take the time to make those connections and take a step forward. It may cause you to get out of your comfort zone or change your agenda for the day.
Right.
But the things that can happen, the long-time brand loyalty that you can build, just imagine what this young lady is going to be saying when she's 14 and all her classmates are trying to figure out where they're going to work. She already has a job in the bag.
Exactly.
So awesome job, Chick-fil-A.
And it costs them nothing.
Not
Like it costs nothing. Other than opening the door, maybe.
And other
over
than
time.
free Chick-fil-A for a year.
Chick-fil-A for
It's
a year.
okay.
No one's going to eat that every day, so it's okay.
But I think something that is really important, Renia, that you touched on, and I want our viewers to get that too, is the importance of having a leadership in place that encourages your team to be able to think outside of the box and make those decisions and not be worried about a negative impact. If you're doing it from a positive intention, it's not, sometimes it requires you denounce fear. So making sure that your employees know that if their values are in line with the company's values, no matter how big or small the business is, that they can have a certain amount of confidence and certainty when it comes to making the decisions like opening the doors.
That's right.
Right. And you can obviously see that Chick-fil-A, not only do their customers matter, but their employees matter as well. And you can see that when you go to any Chick-fil-A. And for them to feel that confidence, that means Chick-fil-A has invested that opportunity for their employees to be able to do that and make an impact in their community.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to go to our next topic. So this is a sensitive topic here. And really close to my heart at the same time. Demi Lovato, it's rumored that she had recently had an overdose. There are some sources who are denying it. And I really want to talk about, that thin line between being open and being transparent, but being private as well. So do you think there is a distinct line between being open and transparent and still being private at the same time?
Okay, do we think there's a line, a distinct line?
A distinct line between that.
Okay.
Can I do like a half?
Yeah. In the middle.
Like a yeah, nah.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, maybe.
You can do a yeah, nah.
It depends on who you are. She's a very public figure. I recently had a woman call me. She just lost her son in a very tragic way, and it made the papers because his story, unfortunately, was engaging to the media, right? It's clickbait. And she called me because they had been really trying to come to his funeral. She didn't know what that would mean for her family. Guidance, because she's an everyday person who had this unspeakable tragedy happen to her. So what do you do? How do you blur that line? Because now his story has become public. It was on the front page of the paper. The interest was high. She had news stations calling her constantly, wanting to talk about her son. She wasn't ready to do that. So in that moment, I said, okay, regardless if you're ready or not, they're coming. So you need to create a plan, because one of my PR philosophies is if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
So in response even to Demi Lovato, she's been very public about her struggle. So you can't then take it back and say, well, we don't want people to think about us and we want privacy during this time. You've already let people in. So it really depends on who you are, to me, if you can really make that distinguishing line between transparency and when do you hold back.
I say yes, there is a line, and this is why I say that. I definitely value being open and transparent, but I would respect my clients' wish to have something be private. So you also want to make sure, as a PR professional or as a publicist, that you make a statement and put your statement out there before others make speculations for you. And so I would go in with, okay, what can we say? What do we want to be private? State the facts that you can say, and then ask for the respect of privacy for the friends and family of Demi Lovato, because the utmost importance right now is to get her healthy and get her the help that she needs. And I want to read the statement that her representative actually put out there, and I want to see what you guys think about that. So the statement stated, Demi is awake and with her family, who want to express thanks to everyone for the love, prayers, and support. Some of the information being reported is incorrect, and they respectfully ask for privacy and not speculation, as her health and recovery is the most important thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely with the idea as a practitioner to come in and identify early on what are we willing to speak on and what are we not. I think the reason why I said no about a clear line of distinction between being transparent and being private, I don't think it's a clear line. I think that line is determined based on the individual. And so some people really might feel like, hey, I might be going through the most traumatic experience in my life, and I'm willing to share it because it may have a positive impact on somebody else.
Right, absolutely. And I do think, once Demi has fully recovered with whatever she's going through, I think it would be good for her to share her story. Like you said, she's been public about it before. And when you share your story, it can not only encourage others, but encourage others to share their story as well and make a lasting impact on someone else as well.
Right. And I guess I'm kind of, again, in the middle of the road, because, again, I think we've all stated it, but it definitely depends on who you are.
Right.
For instance, if you are dependent on to run a major operation and then all of a sudden you're MIA, you just cannot, you can't keep people guessing.
Right.
People have to know something.
That's
so
true.
Again, I think, as we all stated, identifying what must be said so that operations can continue to go on, the brand can continue to be maintained. But then what do we, so, we don't necessarily need to know how much she took of what she took, but obviously she's got to struggle with something that, again, she's been very public about just recently even. And so, to her fans and her supporters, it doesn't make sense to now go into this denial thing that, oh no, she just had a bad day. Or, let's just be honest in terms of what it is, but we don't have to get into the details.
And just because the PR person wrote in a statement, don't speculate what's going to happen. every news station is going to spend the
Right.
next
Definitely.
50 years probably,
Right, that's
dissecting
true.
that statement. Oh, that's not what they said happened.
That's
Then what
right.
did happen?
Right.
But the
Now we've
great
got whole
thing-
panels of people talking about it. So what you say and how you protect your clients is really important.
Yes.
And having someone to think about crisis communication and media training is really essential, because you are going to get caught in those situations, and what you
Definitely.
say matters. And
Right.
it has so many legs beyond what you think of that day.
Right,
And the
absolutely.
protection is crucial, because while Demi or any individual going through their trials may take any length of time, if you've got a PR professional in place who has been authorized to speak on your behalf, then that gives a certain amount of control over the
right.
information that comes
And the
out.
story. Right.
Exactly.
Correct.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's part of why we exist.
That's right.
Well, great discussion, ladies. Thank everyone for joining us in our first segment, and we will be back for our second segment, CPR.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ursula Jennings, and I am the CEO of Style by Ursula. I'm a person that loves fashion, loves style. I love dressing up. It could be casual, evening wear, day wear, whatever it might be, work wear. I just love fashion, and I've created, from that passion of fashion, I've created my business called Style by Ursula, where I'm a personal stylist, personal shopper, concierge services for small boutiques, and revamping of your closet. I do photo shoots and fashion shows also. The photo shoots, I come to you, help you prepare with your wardrobe, go on the shoots with you, so forth and so on. Also, with styling, when we dress up, we do our hair, we feel good. It makes us feel good when we look good. But I want to also take it a step further. I'm creating it could be a class, it could turn into a webinar, but it's called Mind of Style, where you change your style, change your mindset, and elevate to the next level of success. What I need to work on is my follow-up process. Not getting discouraged when something doesn't come through. If you don't get in contact with the person, or when you don't do business right then and there when you think you should, I need to create a follow-up process that I stick to and that does well for myself. Number two, I want to learn how not to give so much of my information away. The person needs to know what I do, but I don't want to give them so much that they can do it themselves. I want to create a atmosphere where it's like, okay, yeah, I really need your services. Let's see what we can do. And also, when I am talking with a potential client, when do I cut it off or not offer them discount services to get their attention? How would I go about offering my services, giving them the pitch if they decide that the price is not, is not within their budget, or they think it's too high? Should I offer them discount services, or should I just say, okay, at this time, that's not going to be within your budget. That's fine. Here's my card. Contact me at a different time and we could go from there. Or do I, stay with that person and offer them that discount? When do I cut that off? When it's too much of lowering my price or cheapening my ability to help you, when do I cut that off? Those are the three things that I need help with.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Dear White Paper, our second segment, CPR, where we help small businesses and entrepreneurs with a challenge that they are facing within their business. Ursula, thank you so much for your submission. I know the first thing that you asked was the follow-up process. Now, what I would say about that is you do have to be consistent. You are going to get some no's, but make sure that in addition to being consistent, that you also are being targeted in who you are approaching as well, and then make your follow-up personal too.
As it pertains to the follow-up, I think that's a great suggestion. One of the most important things I learned when starting my business was the importance of having systems in place.
Yes.
What's great about having a system, an intake system, is there's steps along the way. So if you meet someone in person, you exchange business cards, there should be an automation of what happens next for you.
Yeah.
What happens to that business card? Do you automatically put their name on a spreadsheet with the date that you contacted them? You send that initial email that's almost, it could serve as whatever you want. It could be your first consultation in the form of an email. It could be an email that contains your rate package. Figure out what your initial contact email looks like, and then figure out, once that client says yes, how then is the payment process. So just put a system in place for meeting an individual who's a prospect and then taking them through the pipeline to getting your payment and then doing what you do best.
And then number 2, you asked about how do you make sure that you don't give it all away? Well, don't give it all away. You again, in creating your systems, you also need to figure out how do you promote your brand and what you're offering by not giving the exact tutorial. Now, the truth of the matter is there is something unique about what you do and you offer. And so it is okay to do maybe videos where you highlight how you have transformed someone's closet, but maybe you don't tell them exactly where you bought the packages that you use to organize things, or how, who your connection is to get these great styles that you pull together. So again, you do want to put it out there, but you need to identify up front before you start those conversations, before you go live with your videos or your webinar, exactly how much you're going to give, because you do need to give something, but don't give it all away. Very simply.
And also, when you talk about don't give it all away, and I agree with everything you ladies said, because you all have businesses, whereas I'm working for a company. But I think when you talk about don't give it all away, there's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell that talks about the tipping point and how you create that tipping point. And there's also one that guides me. It's by Seth, I think his name is Godson, but he wrote a book called The Purple Cow. Has anybody read that one?
I've heard highlights from
and he
it.
talks about, like, if you drive down a field, there's tons and tons and tons of brown cows. But if someone says, hey, look, that's a purple cow, you automatically remember that. So how do you set yourself up in your business to be that purple cow? So you don't have to worry about giving too much away if you're a purple cow, because no one can do what you do. I have a friend that says all the time, no one can do my desk. So if no one can do your desk, if no one can do what you do, then how do you highlight that? Then it doesn't matter if you give it away. If you can find a popular person who's a maven, someone with a high media following, and you style them completely, then you can give them all of that, right? But now people are going to seek you out.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how much you give away necessarily, because I understand there's a value to what you do, but how do you create that purple cow experience so you don't have to worry about anyone doing what you do, because no one else can?
Quick note on discounts. I think that's a really important question to acknowledge as well. Yes. You just have to know what your bottom line is. So if you have your rate set at a certain level, internal information, you should know how far you're willing to slide and under what circumstances. So it could be that your potential client doesn't have the budget, but they have a great audience, so you're willing to slide a little. It could be that you're at a position where you have a low client load at the time and you really need to fill up your roster. So someone might have a smaller budget, you might be willing to slide a little. And the important thing when making those decisions is just for you to know what that bottom point is and for you to know when you're willing to offer it.
And I would say you really need to know the distinction between what's an investment and what's community service and what's a business transaction. And so sometimes it does make sense to offer your services because it's an investment, meaning, again, you identify this media maven that you can transform and they are going to guarantee you that they will post and pull in their followers. But there are some things that you lock into that investment that you will get out of it on the other end. If it's community service, it's a homeless individual who's struggling to get back on their feet and you want to help them, then identify that is your community service. But you never discount yourself to the point where you're giving it away. You still need to identify and even let those individuals know how much that offer would cost them so that you never get into the point where you think that your services are available for free and therefore the community will begin to take advantage of you with that as well.
And one last thing for you, Ursula, also know your target audience. A part of knowing your target audience is knowing that income level as well. So make sure you're seeking out the right clients. And just as they said, if they obviously wouldn't be your target audience if they're not able to afford your services. But if they happen to be and they're not able to invest at that time, just like they said, if it's something else that would help you, whether it's their exposure or their contacts or some type of connection, then you would be, willing to come down, on the price in those situations. So I hope this advice really helps you out, Ursula. We would love to hear back from you. Definitely. And thank everyone for tuning in to Dear White Paper. And thank you for joining us.
Bye. See ya.
Thank you for watching Dear White Paper. Learn something new? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Dear White Paper. Want to submit a video for our CPR segment? Email us at dearwhitepaper@gmail.com. Join us in 2 weeks for another episode.